Welcome, all aspiring hunters, to Encounters, the cryptid hunting game. Encounters is designed for 2 to 5 players, with rounds that last anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on the number of players, the cryptids that are drawn, and of course, how aggressively each hunter decides to play. For those of you who are about to start their first hunt, or just need a quick refresher, here's a quick tutorial on how to set up the game, how to start and end each round, and any other details you may need to know. Setting up the game. Before you start, make sure you have everything you'll need. Each game should have 50 encounter cards, 100 item cards, 5 mini playing boards, 5 class cards, 5 private contract cards, 5 hunter pawns, and a copy of the Cryptid Bestiary. Start by giving each hunter a mini playing board and a hunter pawn, which will be placed at 40 HP. Then, shuffle the item card deck and give each hunter 5 item cards face down. The default hand count for hunters is 5 cards, but that can be changed using various cards in the game, which we will cover later in the video. If you are planning on assigning classes and/or private contracts to each hunter, now would be the time. It is recommended that they be assigned at random. These cards add an extra level of depth and strategy to the game by providing each hunter with a unique ability and goal, but the game can be played without them, or just one of them, if you so choose. Once the hunters have what they need, you'll set up the play area. Shuffle the entire encounter deck and create a new deck. This new deck should have 5 cards per the number of hunters. If there are only 2 hunters, the encounter deck will only have 10 cards total. If there's a full game of 5, the encounter deck will have 25 cards. If everyone agrees to play a longer lasting game, then all 50 cards can be used. Once the encounter deck is formed, pull 3 cards from the top and lay them down face up near the deck. These are the first 3 cryptids that will be in play. Near the encounter cards, draw 3 item cards from the top of that deck and lay them face up as well. These 3 item cards will act as the store. Finally, turn 1 card over from the item deck to create the discard pile. Now that everything is set up, the game can begin. Choose a hunter to go first. If you can't decide, choose the hunter who most recently enjoyed a horror movie, book, or video game. How to play. Each hunter's turn starts by drawing an item card, either from the deck, the store, or the top of the discard pile. If you choose to draw from the discard pile, it can only be the top card. Hunters can use as many cards as they want during their turn. Support cards, with the green face, are used to help you stay alive, attain cards, etc., while weapon cards, with the red face, are used to capture cryptids or attack rival hunters. When attacking another hunter, you may only use cards that have a circled number on top, indicating the amount of damage they deal. When using a weapon to attack another hunter, you may only attack that hunter once per turn. In other words, you can use 4 different items to attack 4 different hunters, but not all 4 on the same hunter. To capture a cryptid, hunters only need 2 out of 3 of the items listed on the encounter card. For example, to catch Smile Dog, you can use bait and a shotgun, or a bear trap and bait. Any combination of 2 required items will work. When a cryptid is captured, they are removed from the play area and added to that hunter's collection. When no more actions can be made, the active hunter ends their turn by discarding a card into the discard pile. Hunters may discard as many cards from their hand as they wish, but must discard at least 1 card at the end of their turn. Keep that in mind when planning out the actions you will take in that round. If a hunter accidentally uses up all their cards, they must undo their last action and retrieve the card or cards they used, and then proceed to discard before the game can continue. An important note: if a cryptid is captured or an item is drawn from the store, those cards must be replaced at the end of the hunter's turn, and only at the end of their turn. There should always be 3 encounter cards and 3 items in the store at the start of the next turn. End of round actions. When all the hunters have had a turn, that round comes to an end, and the end of round actions are taken. First, each hunter replenishes their hand back to their default hand size of 5 cards. The only exception to this is for the hunter playing with the Arms Dealer class, who gets 6, or if the Bush Baby encounter card is in play. After that comes the fun part. The 3 cryptids that are currently in play attack, dealing damage to all of the hunters, with the exception of any player who successfully captured a cryptid that round. The amount of damage taken is the sum of the number listed on the 3 cryptid cards. For example, if these 3 cryptids were in play, the Smiling Man would attack for 4, the Skinwalker would attack for 8, and the Pukwudgie would attack for 5. The 3 would deal out a total of 17 damage to any hunter who did not catch a cryptid. If you take damage, whether it's from a cryptid or a fellow hunter, track the damage using your hunter pawn and mini playing board. If at any point your health reaches 0, you are stunned. As a penalty, you must discard the cryptid in your collection with the highest point value. The discarded cryptid gets shuffled back into the encounter deck. If you have nothing to discard, simply wait until the next turn. At the start of that next turn, your health resets back to 40. The game then continues by repeating the steps above until all the cryptids are captured. For those who wish to play a quicker and more brutal game, a hunter's health hitting 0 can lead to death. The hunter is removed from the game, though they hang on to their captured cryptids for scoring. In this version, the game continues until there is only 1 hunter left standing. When that happens, the remaining hunter is granted 1 last round alone and can use that round to capture as many cryptids as possible. The game also ends if all hunters are killed or all cryptids are captured. Regardless of how you choose to play, at some point, the game will end. At this point, all that's left to do is add up the points reflected on each encounter card. The player with the most points from their captured cryptids is the winner of the game. Remember to include any extra points that are granted from the private contract cards if you chose to play with them. Cryptid Caveats. Some encounter cards feature cryptids with special caveats. For example, the Kraken, when revealed, instantly deals damage to all hunters. Be sure to keep an eye out for these special cards. You can also refer to your instruction booklet to get more information on each caveat if there's any confusion. And that's about it. Good luck, and may the best hunter win. Still have questions? We would love to hear from you. You can reach out with any questions, comments, or concerns on any of our social platforms. All links to connect can be found in the description.